worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Smith for Litter Media Live Special Edition. First and third Wednesdays, it's our Fairfield County edition. And joining us today is the mayor of Lancaster, Ohio, David Scheffler. David, welcome to our program.
Oh, thank you, Mike. I'm happy to be here. Anytime I can talk about Lancaster, it's a good day. And the sun's not quite shining yet, but I saw in the forecast that it's supposed to. So we're good.
For those outside of Lancaster who might not be familiar, who are tuned in, give us a little background on David Scheffler and also when you started to become the mayor.
Well, I've been mayor for about 5.5 years. I was elected in a special election in 2017 and took office as soon as the election was certified on December 2nd, 2017. In my corporate career, I was a partner in an international CPA firm. I was a consultant with large healthcare clients. And that firm had mandatory retirement for partners at age 62. So I actually retired the first time in 2009 and was happily retired for 5 years. And then got talked into various jobs, including being executive director of Destination Downtown Lancaster, and then into running for mayor. When one of the former mayors had some issues that didn't agree with the taxpayer. So I am retiring at the end of this year. I'm not running for re-election since I'll be 75 in a few months, and so I think that's long enough, and somebody else can have a chance to contribute to the city.
Well, we appreciate your service. It's good we got a hold of you when we did. Mayor, first of all, let's talk about Lancaster as a community. Why is this a great place not only to live and to work, but maybe even for those outside of Lancaster to visit?
Well, we have an amazing quality of life here. We have a very thriving downtown, which is somewhat unusual, and that's probably one of the most frequent comments we get about how wonderful our downtown is. We have, I think, 8 or 9 locally owned restaurants in downtown. We have a microbrewery. We have lots of shopping and many, many activities going on. Certainly, we have the Lancaster Festival. Just for background, we're a community of about 41,000 people, about 30 miles southeast of Columbus. I think probably most people know that. We have low unemployment. I think we're below 4%, and that goes up and down, 2 to 3/10% every month. And I do track the monthly city employment and number of people working via the Ohio Jobs and Family Services website, so we can keep a close eye on that. Things are thriving. We got a lot of economic development going on, lots of new employers and lots of activity from businesses looking for places to locate. So it's just a good place to live, good schools. We have the Lancaster Festival in the summer, which runs the last 2 weeks of July, and lots of other downtown activity. Friday night bandstand from June through August that draws thousands of people to our downtown on Friday night. We have a designated outdoor refreshment area in downtown, so you can purchase an adult beverage from any of the permit holders and carry it outside and enjoy it while you just stroll, have a meal outside, a carry-out meal from one of our restaurants, or enjoy the music for Friday night bandstand. So lots of things going on, and it's a great place to live.
We had a story on littermedia.com that ran in mid-January. It was from a report that you issued that showed how Lancaster's local taxes were among the lowest of all communities in central and southern Ohio. Number one, how are you doing that? And talk about what that means, not only for the residents, but for those who have businesses in the community.
That study was all of the communities around Columbus, including Columbus, and basically in the Morpsey service area. And it included local income, city income tax, sales tax, real estate tax, and also school district income tax. So we got the information when we did a hypothetical study of a person earning $50,000 and owning a home valued at $200,000. And Newark and Lancaster were right neck and neck. I think they were actually $1,700 lower than us. And I think that our taxes for all those different taxes was about $6,700, as I recall. The most expensive city was around 10,400, so much higher. And Lancaster is at the bottom by far, and has been at the bottom for many years. First of all, our income tax is 2.3%. A lot of other cities, it's 2.5. I think that's the highest around, but a number of cities have 2.5. Our sales tax is lower. We're only 6.75, and other cities go all the way up to 7.5%, depending on where they are. And that's a county based tax, so it varies by county. Our real estate taxes are very low. We're taxed at only 41 mills, which is the assessed millage. And some are as high as double that, easily 80 up to around 85 mills. And our school district income tax, while of all the cities shown, there's probably only maybe 6 or 8 that has a school district income tax. And ours only taxes earned income. It doesn't tax all income, like investments and retirement income and those things. So that's what keeps us low. Our school district assessed millage is very low. It's only 16 mills, and that's partially because they have the school district income tax. And so they're good managers of money. I hope we all are. And we have 5 new elementary schools that were built in the last, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years. We have 2 new middle schools, and a new high school is under construction, will open in 2025. So, you know, it's hopefully it's just good fiscal management on the part of the city, county, school district, and everybody that's getting a piece of those taxes.
You alluded to this earlier. You have done a tremendous job, like a lot of other communities in this part of the state, of trying to revitalize your downtown. Is that completed, or is there more yet to do?
Well, that's a never-ending task that always goes on. Certainly, you have businesses that move out for one reason or another, so it's always recruiting new businesses. But we have a very small town downtown geographically. It's not very big, so it's gradually expanding out. This past year, we worked on our south entrance from Memorial Drive, or the old US 33. We did all new sidewalks going south from downtown. We repaved the street. We did something that initially was kind of controversial. We instituted reverse angle parking. So it's diagonal, but instead of pulling in forward, you back in, which is proven much safer than pulling in forwards. And most cars have backup cameras nowadays, so that helps. That makes it a lot easier. And it's when you pull out is when you notice the difference, because when you pull out, you can look to your left, you can actually see down the street and see whether other cars are coming in. If you back out, you're backing into traffic without a clear view because the car beside you is blocking. So recently, we had an announcement. We had the former industrial factory. It's about 130,000 feet. Just about a month ago, a developer was able to get the state historic tax credit, which completed the financing for that. It's going to be redeveloped, and it's right on the north edge of our downtown. So that's going to expand our downtown in that direction, which is going to be a transitional event, transforming event for downtown. And it's going to open up that whole section for development as that gets going. It will include 60 apartments, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom on the second 2 floors, and retail and commercial space on the ground floors. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully work will get underway in the next 30 to 60 days. It'll be fun to see something actually happen there. It's been vacant for about at least 20 years. So, but any way we can expand downtown, improve downtown, more restaurants are always needed. Our restaurants are pretty busy in the evening. So if we had a couple more restaurants, we need a bike shop. If any listeners are interested in opening a bike shop. We're a town of 41,000 with a lot of bikers. We don't have a bike shop in town.
We, my family and I, we spent many, many weekends years back in Lancaster. We would always come over to the indoor mall. So with that in mind, what's the status of that mall? We were over there just here about a week or so ago. It was closed by the time we got into town that evening. What is its status currently?
Well, it's still open. It has two anchor stores. It still has J.C. Penney and Dick's Sporting Goods, and there's a large theater attached to it also. Like every other indoor mall in the city, in the country, it's in decline, and I know it changed hands a number of times in the last 3 or 4 years. It went into receivership probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. And the receiver told me that he was very encouraged about the mall because of the quality of the buildings and of the continuing tenants. And it was since purchased out of receivership by another company. So we're hopeful. I mean, it's kind of like malls have to think outside of the box for new ways to attract the public there, different kind of stores. I know there's a mall in Zanesville that has a car dealership in the mall. Maybe it's a motorcycle dealership inside the mall, which is certainly interesting. But I know just last week they announced that the Tuttle Mall is in receivership and listed for sale again, and that certainly was a classic, very upscale and a destination for the Worthington, Dublin area. So unfortunately, the outdoor malls now seem to be taking precedence like Easton.
For almost a century, anchor hocking was the anchor industry in Lancaster as far as employment. Times, as you've already alluded to, have changed in a lot of respects. What's the health of that business now, and what's the future look like?
Well, anchor hocking is still a very large employer in town, and it is growing. A number of years ago, they had 2 plants. Their corporate headquarters was here when they were purchased by Newell back. I think that was in the 1990s. They traditionally had three tanks to create glass, and that's where all the ingredients are melted in a furnace. And for many years, they were down to 1 tank. About a year and a half ago, they reinstalled the 2nd tank, and right now they're working on the 3rd tank. So business is growing. It's good. They still have a large distribution center in town here. So things are looking up for Anchor. We have a number of, certainly our largest employer in town now is the hospital. Healthcare, and with the aging of the population, healthcare keeps growing. Our city schools are a large employer. And we have some new employers. Magna Seating broke ground in 2019 with a commitment to hire 250 people. Now they're up to 600. And South Central Power just relocated 3 separate operations to our industrial park. Their corporate headquarters in their Canal Winchester and Circleville operations centers are now located there. We have SRI, Midwest Coatings, Westrock, Serva Solutions, which was previously Retrieve Technologies, just announced a $200 million addition to their plant to recycle electric vehicle batteries, and the engineering and permits for that construction is just underway. So Intel is coming, as everybody knows, and we have had site visits from several Intel suppliers. We understand that no Intel suppliers have made site selection commitments yet, so we know something is going to come here since it's only about 45 minutes from here. Certainly the Honda LG battery plant in Fayette County will have some impact on us because it's like an hour drive from here. So either suppliers or employees. So lots going on around everywhere. We have a lot of economic development activity. We have good power. We have plentiful water. So we're kind of one of the, I guess, premier spots around. We have a number of sites that are certified by Ohio One Site. So we're sitting in a good position. You know, we don't want our kids to leave. We want to have lots of things to do here, lots of places to eat, and the way that happens is economic development. So if we can provide our kids with good, well-paying jobs and keep them here, everybody's happy. I've got 18 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren, so, you know, we got to look out for their future too.
Mayor, we appreciate your being with us. Thanks for the update. A very beautiful city. I've spent many, many days in Lancaster over the years covering high school sporting events, and we appreciate your taking the time and wish you the best in your future.
I'm happy to do it, Mike, and anytime you want to have me back on in the next 9 months, I'm happy to do it. So I love talking about our city.
Our guest today on the Litter Media Live special edition for Fairfield County, Lancaster Mayor David Scheffler. I'm Mike Smith.